First, Israel's Minister for Tourism has wrapped up his historic trip to Saudi Arabia. Chaim Katz was the first Israeli cabinet minister to openly and publicly visit the kingdom. He was there for a UN tourism conference, the latest in a series of steps that have made the prospect of normalization between Jerusalem and Riyadh seem closer than ever. Katz did not meet his counterpart directly, but the Saudi tourism minister, Ahmed bin Akil al-Khatib, publicly noted the presence of the Israeli delegation. He said he hoped they had enjoyed a warm welcome. Well, to talk more about all of that, we're joined here in the studio by Ruth Wasserman-Land. She's a former member of the Knesset and the former co-chair of the Abraham Accords Parliamentary Caucus. So this is something very close to your heart, of course.
I'm trying to keep my excitement, in a appropriate way. It's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable to see an Israeli minister and publicly, unapologetically in Saudi Arabia.
Well, Ruth, it's great to have you with us. We're also joined tonight by Hussain Abdul-Hussain. He's a research fellow at the Foundation for the Defence of Democracy. It's great to see you as well, Hussain.
Thanks for having me on.
Ruth, let me come to you then. You've spoken about your excitement. It just seems to be one thing after another now, doesn't it? Because the process had seemed to have stalled for quite a while. We had Mohammed bin Salman give that interview last week, and now the first Israeli minister. Just tell us about your excitement and where you think this heads from now.
So the fact that the Crown Prince actually went out and said what he said on Fox News was the green light. This is the unapologetic implication, understanding, declaration, whatever you want to call it, that this has been decided in Riyadh. This has been decided. They want it. They are willing to publicly say it. It's really moving forward. Otherwise, he would not have come out and said it. And now it's just a matter of really fixing the negotiation, what is happening in the negotiation, and so on. There are tricky issues involving the agreement, and not only military-related ones, even though they are the only ones that are really, truly talked about. But I do want to say, still in the hope echelon, this is something that is going to completely change the Middle East and the Gulf. This is a true and utter game changer, nothing less.
Hussain, would you agree with that? And also, the Saudis have also sent their first non-resident ambassador to the Palestinian Authority. This is Naif al-Sudairi. Is this a sign that the Palestinians have realised that they need to get on board this time?
Well, it's absolutely huge. The events, the developments that are unfolding are really big. However, I'd like to point out that this is Saudi Arabia. This is not everyone coming on board, and which is good enough. I mean, I'm not trying to underestimate how big this is, but this peace will be bilateral, just the same way that Israel signed the Abraham Accords bilaterally with the UAE and with Bahrain. And if Saudi Arabia signs peace, we should not necessarily expect all the other countries to come signing. For example, Kuwait, or other Arab countries, or Indonesia, other Islamic countries. So this is only Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia is acting out of national self-interest, is acting based on the new motto since MBS came to power, which says Saudi first. And we've seen this on his interview with Fox News. He was really big on pushing Saudi Arabia up the ladder of the biggest economies of the world from 15 to he's aspiring to become number 7. So this is a totally different Saudi Arabia, and with a different Saudi Arabia, of course, we expect a different relationship with Israel.
And of course, just like the Abraham Accords, this would be a US brokered agreement, this time under the Biden administration. The US National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan is due to visit Israel, according to reports. Let's go to New York. Our senior US correspondent